Hey out there, everybody. Thank you once again for tuning into Blue Green's World and on my quest to find interesting people. In this area, I found some amazing folks I want to talk to. So, who are you? What do you do?
My name is Allyse Love. I am the owner, co-founder, and chief operator of Art by Love and the Forever Changes Gallery, which we're sitting in right now.
And my name is Mac Love. I'm a local artist and the co-founder and chief catalyst here at Art by Love.
So I did my homework last night and I went back in time and watched the video that you and I recorded, and that was in 2022. I was surprised. 2022. I thought it was a little further back. So it was like I think that's like one of the first ones where I maybe was unmasked, possibly doing interviews, which is a strange time. And now we're like completely transitioned away from that. I mean, I think it's still in the back of our heads. I see people with masks occasionally. So that's the last time I talked with you. We talked about, and we were in a different place.
Yeah, we were.
So that's a good one. So how'd y'all find this place? From where? Well, let's take that back. You were there down the road, correct? Yep. When I interviewed you.
We were in Bath. That's right.
What, no, you were on.
Oh, the first time.
67, yeah.
That would have been 2017. And
so no, then I interviewed you in Bath. Then that's right. Okay.
Yes, the last one was in Bath.
That's all I said. Do interviews. Okay, so I'm wrong. So how did you go from? You had a gallery there. Do you still have a gallery in Bath as well?
No. So we've only ever had one location at a time. We were downtown in the old law building, which is now a beautiful event space. They've totally redone it. But it was when Main Street was just opening. The Bowery project was finishing up. We had a very large hole in our sidewalk for a long time that made work difficult. And to be honest, we got a little priced out of downtown. They were trying to figure out, the building owners were all trying to figure out where that sweet spot was post all the construction. And we found a nice off the beaten path place in Bath. We do a lot of work in Cleveland, so it was nice halfway. But they were selling the building after 3 years, and we came back downtown, talked with Julie and Chemstress, who were great supporters of the rubber worker statue. So we knew them through that. Mac basically cold called her and was like, hey, you have a building and we would like to be in a building. Can we come talk to you? And here we are 2 years later.
Well, that's pretty awesome that you're like right down the road from your installation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally right there. Did you ever see that? I mean, was that even a thought when you were doing that? Did you be this close to that again?
When we first started the project, we were actually on the other side of the statue, and about the same distance away. So there's a pride that we have in actually seeing the change in the community that we're a part of. We feel a deep sense of responsibility towards that. But when we moved from Bath, we moved 2 doors down over here in a smaller space, and then had the opportunity to move into this one, which is twice that size, at the start of this year, so January. And we had our ribbon cutting in May. We weren't intentionally trying to be next to it, but the truth is we still get a lot of calls from people who want to know where their brick is, or are they looking for a family member's brick. And so to be able to answer those questions for people in such close proximity to where we've had some impact and had a lot of great collaboration, and to be able to refer people to others in the area, this is a perfect space for us.
I actually helped people find their bricks after the marathon. I was walking from the Finishers Festival to my car, and I saw people going, and I was like, let me see your phone. Let me help you with this on my way back to my car. I didn't even tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So do you have a map of it, like an interactive map online for people to see?
So if you go to akronstories.com, there's a brick finder, and you can type in the person who bought the brick or the person whose name is engraved on the brick, and it shows you the area, the row, the brick. So you can go boop, 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 and you're right there.
That's awesome. And what's good great about that project too is how many people, I mean, you think that most everybody in Akron knows about the rubber worker, but a lot of people don't. Yeah. And that just sparks so much pride in the community seeing that. For the older generation, they really remember. They can look at that and smell it. It's like, I smell Akron. It smells like rubber. But for the young people, so do buses come in to check this out? Do they bring kids down? Do you ever notice to like give them like a history tour of the rubber workers?
Well, we're open to it. We've had a couple classes and large groups come in. I think so far since opening in May, we've done 6 kind of large events. We had Tom Todd Ideas come in once with about
middle schoolers,
30 kids. Yeah, we've hosted a Tea Lady event with Urban Troubadour, so a live music performance in here. We have a very large space. It's about 2,500 square feet. We've got nice high ceilings, great acoustics. Our neighbors, the Akron Music Institute, occasionally grace us with some beautiful piano play and some other professional music. So we can do a lot of things.
Yeah, but in terms of the rubber worker, I don't know if there is a curriculum. I know that there have been a couple people who've tossed that idea around. But what we're doing this year is we are making more videos. So we got a grant from Arts Now through their Arts Forward program to make 100 new rubber worker mini documentaries, in addition to the 150 that already exist. And then we're making different playlists, if you will, for each neighborhood. So we had a screening in Highland Square at the Highland Theater. We're doing one at the Rialto in Kenmore, in Goodyear Heights, and then back here in downtown at the library with a bunch of different types of videos that we play.
I think
How many did you say you have so far?
it's actually 100.
Okay, 100 plus 100, 200. Good math, Allyse.
That's a lot. I mean, that's an epic amount of recording videos and conversations. It's important to keep that.
Well, so check this out. It's a 100 mini documentaries. It's over 3 hours of film content. It's all free and available at the akronstories.com website, so anyone can watch it there anytime. But to put them up large on a big screen is really validating, I think, for a lot of generations of people who can share with their friends and their family members, like the scale of the buildings, the scale of production, the amount of bustle downtown, and shoulder to shoulder traffic of people going in and out of theaters, and seeing what the Deaf Club was like. Like the loudest place in Akron was actually the Deaf Club. The history of the Akron Silence Deaf Community Football Team, of Rosie the Riveters, all of the international people who came over here from Eastern Europe and Asia to create opportunities for themselves and for their families. I just did an interview a couple weeks ago with a woman whose family, her great-great-grandfather once removed, came from Macedonia to escape the Macedonia-Turkish War in, was it 1902?
Something like that.
Yeah, and he came to Akron. Like the story of him, this is a long story, but I think you'll like it. He was 25 years old in Macedonia, and they were hunting for able-bodied men to either force them to serve in the military or to kill them. And so he dressed as a woman and slept in the kids' room the night that they came to the house, was not discovered, and left the country the very next day. Ended up in Akron. They don't know how. Most likely he took a ferry to New York, and he got a free train ticket to Akron because they used to give those out back in the day. He worked here for 10 years and then returned to Macedonia. It's the last time any family member of his ever saw him. And he returned to Macedonia with a bag of gold coins. And he bought hectares and hectares of farmland for the family to kind of stabilize them. And so he is spoken of with like awe and as like a legend in their family, but they don't have any pictures of him. Yeah, it goes that far back.
And he's buried here in Akron.
Yeah, he's buried in the East Akron Cemetery. He died here in 1952. He never had any kids. He never got married. He just came here, worked his butt off to support his family abroad. And basically, the archives at the library helped the family find his gravestone and said it was in much, much better condition than most from that period of time. So he must have been loved, or someone else must have been caring for it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the first one to document that story, like besides the family having it?
There was maybe a written article in a library newsletter, but we're the first ones to audio record that. And granted, it's a couple generations removed from the source, but it was so important to that family. The family member I recorded with, she currently lives in Australia. So
it was a very early morning for Mac.
Yes. Yeah. So
It was
really.
I'm putting this one on your calendar, babe. Thanks so much.
Yeah, but it was so important to be able to capture that in the emotional way with the voice and everything else. The family member who shared it, she also sent us pictures of the family's farm, which a lot of them have now moved on. But she had photos of what the land looked like when her grandparents were working those farms.
And those stories are great to get out because, I mean, we're a couple generations removed from times like that, at least in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries is still pretty, in their memory, we'll say. They remember the stuff more than we do. But to realize that, that's what happens in wars. They tell you either you fight or you die, basically, and there isn't a choice in the matter. And that's happened a lot of times. But there's a Hollywood story waiting to happen. I
Like,
mean,
really? Yeah.
These stories are everywhere.
There are a lot that come through Akron. I mean, we've heard so many.
So if you're watching this podcast, important storyteller, go grab a camera, record your grandparents, people on the street.
Please record.
You get shocked.
My grandfather, we got to record. He is 93. He is still getting in trouble for going on the roof to pick up sticks in Uniontown. But he is he's a CODA. He's a child of deaf adults. So they moved to Akron for jobs at Goodyear because his dad could work at Goodyear as a deaf person. So we got to play his stories at our first big recording, and I got to tell like my kids sitting next to us, like, listen, whose voice is that? And like, it's Poppy's. So it's so important to tell those stories before those stories are gone, and to be able to have them memorialized in that way, even for our family, is just really important.
It brings your family great joy. It brings other people great joy. I mean, I put the stories out to the world. You never know who's going to see them, you know?
Yeah.
It might change someone's life. Yeah, a child may see that. It may change their lives. So you for doing that. And I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that document things in Akron like, you're doing. So,
That's those many.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Just high praise. High praise around the board for doing that. I'm very impressed. As for a video person, understanding, just to getting people together and liking people, sitting down, talking, this fun thing. Hey, you get a story. You got to put it in a computer and you got to edit it.
Yeah.
You got to upload online and cover all the metadata. And I mean, that's where we talked earlier before we kicked on the cameras. AI really helps in those realms. That's where I love it, for metadata and, to fill in the 5,000 characters in YouTube, which I used to dread sitting down and writing. Now you're like, oh, break me up this and put these keywords in.
Yeah.
And whip, bam, boom. So AI is not the end of the world. You can embrace it for some.
Well, I will say the videos are not available on YouTube because we're not allowed to profit from them in any way or commercialize them. So there's no commercial content in any of them. They're all on Vimeo is where they're stored.
Okay.
And they're linked directly through the website. So you can watch them ad-free. Main reason is we use a lot of archival film. And so in order to have permission to use that archival film, there can be no commercial profit from it. Our primary goal was really to just authenticate all of these stories and to ground them in reality as much as possible. So we used family photos and archival photo, including a lot of 16 millimeter, which we dirty transferred from the archive. So, set up a digital camera, recorded it as it was being projected on the wall.
And that's with the University of Akron Archives. They've been an incredible partner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at people. We've mentioned some people. I've talked to them. Great story there. T-Lady you mentioned earlier is another great person. She's in Barbados now, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Good visitor in Barbados. Wonderful person. I love people that find their passions and chase them. So as people know that watch my show, I know my questions are all over the place, like a 12-year-old bouncing around my mind. This building. What do you know about this building? What can you tell me about the history of the building? People love the building stuff. So I gave a picture earlier today. You're not going to grab it now, but
I maybe should.
I'll throw a picture up.
Gotcha.
when we had it. But I got a nice picture of the building from, I don't even know when it was. It was a while back when. So what do you know about this place?
I mean, as my understanding, the earliest business that was in here was a tannery here on the ground floor. It occupied almost all of it. So it's a lot of leather goods, belts, clothing. It transitioned a lot over the years. From that historic photo, you can see that there was like legal services. There was still some like household and clothing items. RKO Theater was right next door. If I recall, the Club for the Deaf was actually on the other side of this vacant lot. So in the building where the Chameleon Cafe is where the Club for the Deaf was in downtown Akron.
Is this still the same building?
No, so this is the Chemstress building now. I'd have to actually go back to our archives to find out what the original name for it was.
I was
we have it. We made
Metropolitan or something.
I love how the facade is still, on this
beautiful.
building, and it just redid it again. It really pops out there.
So they still have the original elevator inside, and because this is a historic designated structure, that elevator can only be operated by an elevator attendant. So they have to maintain a full-time elevator attendant to run people up and down the floors of the building.
So if you have a certain type of elevator, you have to have a full-time attendant to run that elevator.
Or you can't run the elevator.
Wow, that's a time going past, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So, okay, how do you get away with the elevator over at the Goodyear buildings? There's ones, you ever been over there?
I've been in the one in the air dock.
And you have to open up two things and got in and close these big doors and press a button and it just takes you up. That seems like it would need somebody in there, I would say.
This is much smaller than that. This is like a personal elevator.
Like a cage.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So it's not one of those big freighters that...
So what's it like riding in it?
Our kids did not enjoy it.
Sure, would be like.
Well, they couldn't press the buttons. There's no.
Yeah.
So how many people did I hold at one time? Is it like?
Max was probably 6.
Yeah.
And that's like probably pretty close to 6 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's 6 people back then, or 6 people.
It's basically like a telephone booth for anyone who remembers the size of those.
I mean, you think about where you enter, it's like a half a story. So it's a pretty short ride. So claustrophobics, you'll be all right.
An interesting story. The person that runs there can't be another person in town.
Well, I wonder if they have to have like a special, like if their maintenance staff gets like a special like certification or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're way off like my 12-year mind. We learned something about the building, and
well, let me throw a breadcrumb out there for future reference too. Though there is a best elevator I've ever been on, most terrifying too, the one in the Goodyear air dock. So I've had the privilege of being on the roof of the Goodyear air dock before, and to get to it, you have to take an elevator that starts on the inside outer edge of the air dock. It's a flat platform, but it rotates up the curve and it stays level.
Absolutely.
The gears and everything adjust
Nope.
to go with the curve until it takes you all the way up to the top.
No, never.
Oh, yeah.
I would never.
It is ancient.
put that on my 100th episode. I want to get on that. Well, like the weather changes inside of there. It's so high and everything. Wow. So I'd have to probably get a hold of Lockheed Martin. Is that who?
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah.
A lot of military clearance and everything to get in there.
Good luck with that.
FBI background shit.
Yeah.
Done before. It's just not a big deal. But wow. Yeah, that sounds terrifying. Can you see outside of it while you're going up? Is there like windows?
No, well, you can look down and it's long way down.
Okay.
Yeah, when you get up there, the scale of how much higher you are than everything else, I underestimate.
Yeah, it's hard. It sits out in the field like that. It's really hard to get an idea. And it sits in a mole kind of, so everything around is the thought. In my mind, I'm thinking like the Willy Wonka, elevator that goes up and it's all glass and it just pops through the top as you
You're
go.
flying.
There are 7 summits in Summit County, and I'd be very curious how close the air dock gets to being like
One of the highest
the
points.
8th or something like that.
I was on top of the PNC building looking out from there, and I was shocked how far you could see the distance there. I'd say if you get a chance to go up there, that's pretty cool. The peregrine falcons like to attack, so that's the only thing.
Okay, they didn't get me that time, so it was good.
Yeah, so they're pretty vicious out there. So you first off, the name is awesome. I love how you incorporate love into the name, and it's just part of your brand and everything. When people say like, "I asked my family, was your name Blue Green?" I'm like, I go by Blue. My last name is Green, and it's part of my brand. The love brand is so powerful, and the X love.
Well, you also have is it dichromatic eyes? Don't you?
No. I do that. I put that on my logo. It was supposed to represent the blue and the blue and the green. I should probably get contacts, but I hate wearing contacts.
You just have to wear one, right?
Yeah, that's a war one. Right?
Just pick your least favorite
just
eye
least favorite
and then just wear one.
I mean, last time I used to wear contacts. That's how I became blue. I had really piercing blue eyes at one time because I had blue on blue contacts. And being last name's Green picked it up. But anyway, that's me, not you. We're talking about you. So you brought out our gallery to downtown Akron. What's your concept here? How does it work? How does this gallery, how does this maintain here? What is your process, we'll say?
So when we moved into this larger space, we are still doing Art by Love projects. We're still taking client work. Mac is still doing commissions, but we don't need this much space for what we are doing. But because this is our 10th year, we've been working with artists for 10 years locally now. We were like, I think we can call on these artists, and I think we can give them a place to show their work. As there used to be a lot more galleries in Northeast Ohio and Akron specifically. Galleries are hard. Gallery work is hard work, and the market has changed a lot. So what we decided to do was focus more on emerging artists. So we have about 30 different spaces that we can rent out to an artist. They can have a free display space. So it's a 32 square feet space approximately. They can put whatever they want up there. They make the titles, they price it, they bring their artwork in, they make it ready to hang. Those are kind of our parameters, but then they get 70% of their sale. We would take a 30% commission on anything that they sell for a free display. They also have the opportunity to rent the space. So if you're an artist who has more of that pocket cash, you can rent the space for $150 and then you get 100% of everything you sell. So we want it to be a place where artists can show what they want more than, one piece of art in a juried show. Also important to show those kinds of works and those exhibits. Those exhibits take so much work. But this, you get an artist and they can show 5 or 6 or 7 pieces, what they want to show, not maybe what they know can win an award at a juried show. So, and I think we've shown 40 different artists already since May. October is today, but we are bringing, I think, 12 new artists in for this month. So we're really starting to do what we wanted to do, which was, we called it Forever Changes because we wanted it to always be changing. So when you come in each month, there's new people, there's new artwork, there's something different to look at, and you can find what you love from a local artist.
So what is the official name of this gallery?
It's Art by Love if you're searching Art X Love online, but we call it the Forever Changes Gallery, this part.
So that's your tag, I guess we'll say.
Yeah.
So it takes its name from a gallery that I used to run in Connecticut. After 9/11, I had been working in New York City before 9/11, September 11th attacks in New York City. And I went back to Connecticut. I was doing some work there, and I was offered a space to operate as a gallery if I patched the holes in the walls and on the floor. I immediately got to work on that, and that summer I sold enough artwork and completed enough commissions to pay for my master's degree, like just later on that year. Being able to take that opportunity and to generate revenue doing something I loved was like a complete game changer for me. And so when we came to this space, and we're looking at it, I was like, it'd be really nice to bring that back in some capacity, because I remember sitting on that rooftop in that gallery when I had made enough to pay for my master's degree, sitting there and just thinking to myself, it might never get better than this. It was like 2002, and I'm like, wait, I'm too young to think that. No, of course it'll get better than this. But it was the smell of like bacon from the kitchen underneath me, and like the blueberry muffins, and the fact that I had all this clientele from New York and all over the world coming up and visiting this gallery because the top restaurant in the area was across the street from it. So I'd stay open late and people would come in with their cocktails. We'd have these great conversations about art. They'd tell me about their kids' passions, whether or not, what they should say to their kids about pursuing art. And it was this great intersection to have a really healthy conversation about pursuing creativity as a profession, or how we make creativity a part of our lives, even if we're not creative professionals. And so that's still very much in the spirit of what we do as a company, as Art by Love, and how this space functions. Yes, Forever Changes is a place where anyone in the area can apply for a free display, can find out if there's a market for what they do, can generate incremental revenue for themselves to make new works, explore new subject matter, maybe sell enough where they can then rent the space, create new relationships with people, help people come into the space and discover all of these different voices, these different points of interests, different ways of expressing themselves. But then maybe even most importantly for me, it's also to create new art collectors. There is a huge imposter syndrome that a lot of artists feel. Some of that is perpetuated by the art industry itself. It's made to set up to say there's an exclusive class of excellent, tremendous, amazing artists, and there is an exclusive class of collectors and experts who know who those artists are and who know what to look for. And so it's amazing to me how many artists I find who don't know if their work is worth anything, or if it would even inspire anybody else. There's also so many people who have beautiful homes and families and careers and life stories who don't feel like they can choose a piece of artwork. And so we very much want to cross that bridge and help them understand that if a piece of artwork speaks to you, if it means something to you, if it might inspire you, buy it, like bring it home, make that part of your daily experience. And so this is a place where we are creating new art collectors every day. We want people to come in and to get comfortable with the idea of owning something that's original, owning something that's authentic, that's not a reproduction, that is human made and informed by human experience, because ultimately that was going to have the biggest impact that it can possibly have on your environment, whether you buy art for your home, your workplace, for family or friends. I know this from just working as a creative professional for more than 30 years. But I'm happy to have that conversation with people to dispel these myths that they don't know what's good, or they don't know, what's inspiring or what art is. That's up to us. It's not up to the institutions to decide that.
I couldn't agree more. Art is what it means to you. Everybody has their favorite film, that's your personal likings. And if it speaks to you, buy it. Now, let me add on top of that, the Kraus thing that most people will say, bring cash, bring your friends, paying cash for this stuff. It's the best thing you can do. Small businesses crave to pay for cash. It makes it much better for everybody all around. And bring your friends and your family. Buy Christmas gifts here. Don't go to Walmart to buy art. No offense to Walmart, but it's amazing how much they make art try to look like it's a sign. I'll put a pretty number on it and all this stuff, and then it is.
Well, a lot of those big box stores and a lot of the online retailers are really predatory on small businesses. We have many small business and art friends who get knocked off by Temu, knocked off by Amazon, knocked off by Hobby Lobby, knocked off by Target. Like, artists make work. And sometimes it's malicious and they're trying. And sometimes it's like, you can see the artist's signature that's still on there. Like, this is ridiculous. I think it's also changing from a younger generation too. I know my friends joke with me, like, you can't protest everything with your dollars, but I can choose where I spend my money, where I don't spend my money. If I'm going to buy product A or product B and I know where those corporate dollars are going and I align myself with corporate B, I'm going to spend my dollars there. That's how I can make my own little difference. Buying something from a local person, buying something from an artist to put in maybe it's your first office, maybe you're 30 and you're getting promoted and you have an office for the first time and you're not in a cube anymore. And you want to put 3 local things. You want to buy a photograph of your favorite place and you want something handmade. You can find that in a lot of places. You can find that at Northside. You can find that here. You can find that at Art Walk. You can find it in a lot of places. And I would just encourage people to do that, to shop local whenever you can, because it really does make a difference.
And take pictures of it and show your friends and family online and tag the artist and put hashtags and go to their website, like their website, and go to their social media presence. Blast it all over the place, because that's the power of good marketing. I can put videos out there all I want until someone else just shares it. Like this video right now, go down and share it, like my content, subscribe. That's what makes the world go around. And you don't got to pay a dime to share something, right?
I honestly, on Instagram, I have a shared folder that I titled Save Small Businesses. And when I just go and I click save and I click save, I might not ever watch it again, but that statistic feeds the algorithmic beast that is social media that we don't have any more control over anymore. And I just literally, like, from the small businesses that I follow, I just go boop, 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 boop. And I know that what it will do on the back end. And it's like, it takes me 10 seconds and it costs me nothing.
Find good things, go out there and love bomb it, like it, push it to your friends. It's the only way to really, it used to be a lot easier for social media marketing. It's very hard right now, unfortunately. Make comments too, don't go, I wouldn't say argue, but arguing does help. It does help. Argue with love. Put your points out there. Maybe say how much you love the piece, and then comment the next one how much you love it even more. Maybe you like this color, the next comment. Just fold the algorithms, make them work for us.
Yes.
Can I add a couple little things too, just from the gallery side? Because there are a few other, I think, things that separate this place and this experience out from some others. One is that we're open 5 days a week, so anyone can come in Tuesday through Saturday, come in, see the local artists work. They can buy something if they want, but this is set up to be a gallery experience. It's more of a gallery than it is a shop. Second is that anything that you want to buy, you can take it with you that day if you want. So if you're shopping for a last minute gift or something you need to ship to a friend, this is a place where you can buy authentic Akron artists' work and gift it to somebody. But the third is, like we used to say, I think last time we interviewed, I might have mentioned that Allyse's second favorite day of the year was January, when we would write the royalty checks for the Akron on Deck playing cards, because those feature art by 54 different artists.
It's my third favorite day. It goes Akron Marathon Saturday, Christmas, royalty day, just to be clear.
So as of last year, your third favorite day was that royalty day, where in January we'd send out 100 checks to artists with their royalty payments from those card sales. And that can be a nice, unexpected financial windfall for some people. the thing with the gallery now is that we get to do that every month. So as soon as an artwork sells, we tell the artist so that they can come and replace the blank space in the wall with something new. We pay the artist, though, at the start of the next month. And so it's just easier from a financial standpoint for us to just pay everybody at the start of the following month. But it's so cool that we've been able to take that once a year thing that was your third favorite day of the year,
multiply it,
and
by
now we
12.
can do it 12 times. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I know a lot of those artists and hear that stuff. It does help, trust me. You know,
Yeah.
Art's tough. Like people get in the world. I haven't done like the 9 to 5 thing forever, and for what that's worth. And I was stuck there, and it was Monday through Friday, and that's all I ever thought about. Live for the weekend. You get your paycheck, and it was just like clockwork. All you had to do was be there, show up, do your stuff, and it's not like that as an artist. You might not sell something for a month or two. It's far and few between. So
if you're not doing it, no one else is.
Yeah.
That's one of those funny things. It is this. We met in a 9 to 5 job, which
We did.
was a little more like an 8 to 8 job because we loved it.
You creative team, you were not there at 8. I was there at 8.
We
You
all-
guys were there at 10.
We were in a culture and environment though that was really dedicated to excellence. We were trying to find it in ourselves and others. We tried to bring that culture here with what we do, and even if an artist is working in a dingy basement or something like that, we try to see the good and the best in everything. And it again, like we said before, it's not for us to necessarily be the ones who are judging like what is good, what is bad. It's the community in the world, and no one will ever learn that unless they have a space to share their work. And so they can do that here. It's not just for emerging artists too. I would also say that it's for well-established artists as well.
We run the gamut. It's open for everyone, but we have people who are just out of art school. We have people who do this full time. We have people who are hobbyists. We have people who are retirees who are just getting into art. It really does run the gamut.
Uh-huh.
And another aspect that we haven't really touched on today, we talked about a little bit about the bricks, we talked about the story project, we talked about the car, we talked about the gallery, but murals. You do a lot of murals. You have murals everywhere. I mean, they're all over the place. You just pop off a few murals that that people might know.
Well, I'd like to share a little mystery because yes, we're responsible for a ton of public art in Akron. We've produced over 200 murals, I think, probably over 50 placemaking transformations, asphalt art. We've completed the city's public art inventory. So we've done a lot of other informative, creative projects as well.
This is over the last 10 years too.
Yeah, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. Mm-hmm. But I do want to share, even though, yes, Art by Love is responsible for a lot of those murals, we've hired over 400 local artists to produce them. So it's not me that's painting them. In many of those cases, the vast majority of them, they're community art projects where tens of thousands of people have put their marks on these panels.
Like the one behind you right now.
Yeah. So this was created for the Akron Marathon. We had certainly well over 3,000, I think maybe even as many as 5,000 or more people make their mark on that mural. And they filled it in, they added names, words of inspiration, their team names, names of people that they're running in memory of or for. And so to be able to demonstrate community and collaboration and togetherness in this way, I think is something that really sets Akron apart. I also think it's a solution to a lot of the troubles that ail us as a society. Instead of being fractured and separated by all of these digital platforms and mediums and, virtualness, to have things that are concrete and real and, done by hand that reflect the voices of our neighbors and perspectives of people that maybe we see every day or maybe we don't. I think it's a beautiful medium and style. It's not something I ever did anywhere else I lived. It's something when I moved here to Akron, it was to me, this was the way to create public art that people would respect, that people would be proud of, and that kids who made it when they were in middle school are now going to college, and when they come back home, they're like, oh, wow, I made that. Mm-hmm. I did that. It's still there.
You kind of led into my next questions. I love it. I was going to say, you've seen a whole generation of kids grow up and work with you, progress on. Do they come back? Are they on the walls? I mean, what's some of the stories with the people you've worked with?
So I'll say, I think it's a mix of both. It can be bittersweet in some ways. On some hands, there are emerging artists who were young who found their creative calling, and maybe we were able to contribute to that in some small way by helping fund their work, whether it was in photography, videography, maybe it was working as a playwright or being a painter. Some of those artists are still working here today. Some have found maybe greener pastures or other places that resonate with them a little more outside of Akron, and some are moved to the East Coast, the West Coast. There are some we've worked with who aren't with us anymore, and some of these projects in a way represent some of like their legacy. The last things they did. Every once in a while, we have a video that we'll post from a project where you see the collaborators, and a family member will contact us and say, that gentleman who gave his quote at this point, he actually passed away. Could you send us the original video? And to me, like, that's really important. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and to not also, but on a larger lens, having done this now in Akron for 10 years, like, we've made a pretty substantial contribution to the cultural landscape, both physically, but also just in the way we inspire others. It could even be in the way that other organizations change their practice. I think it's important that people recognize the difference between, say, like a mural, a handmade, painted object versus like a vinyl. There's a very different response and feel that people have to a commercially reproduced material product versus like a handmade one. The way that we do research, not just doing online surveys, actually going door to door, meeting people where they are. We brought a lot of these approaches to this area and to this industry from our past work working in branding and packaging design, because we saw the evidence of what really made a difference. Like, if you want to have an impact in 10 years, you need to really be thinking long term, and not just about what your goals are, but human behavior, and to design things that last. And that's very much what we focused on.
Given people a reason to, I think in the last interview that I talked with you, you said give them a reason to look up. Mm-hmm. And I kind of stuck with me, because I really think people don't really pay attention to what's going on. They just get locked in their rhythm. Mm-hmm. I do this from 9 to 5, and we just lock in, realize that how much beautiful art, just like if you walk outside and look at this building, I mean, you can just find so many elements of beauty just in the building and be lost in just the look of that. So this mural work does have an effect on people. Do you work with a lot of college age students mostly, or is it high school, or is it vary?
It varies. It depends on the project. So if we have one project and we know the budget and we know, what the client is looking for, we can find artists that fit that. We've had interns over the years that are college age, or, early career. It depends on the project.
Yeah. I'd also say too, there are a lot of arts organizations in Northeast Ohio. Many of the nonprofits, their funding and their mission is dedicated towards working with certain populations. So Arts Lift and the Art Bond Brigade, they specifically work with Akron high schoolers and college students. Mm-hmm. We can work with them too, but we do tend to tailor it towards the project. So for example, we recently completed a mural for Akron Honey that was funded by an Arts Forward grant. That mural was actually painted by 4 local artists. We helped organize the project, lead the project. I helped with painting the mural as well, particularly reaching the very hard to reach, high up, scary areas on the wall. But that mural, that was created entirely by local artists. So we always do try to hire and put together teams that are the best fit, not just in terms of like talent, but also in terms of ownership and identity and understanding,
Growth opportunities.
Yeah. But whenever possible, we really love to mentor people and to teach them like how to use new tools, new skills. We all have gaps. We don't always see them, but it's nice when you get to work with others and you can ask those questions, how to evaluate an opportunity or an RFP, mm-hmm. Sharing best practices. I think that helps all of us. And that's very much what we're trying to do. We're not in it entirely for ourselves. We want to see this entire community thrive.
There's enough work to go around.
Yeah.
I must have got subconsciously influenced by your doing the Akron Honey, because he's in the show too.
Oh,
yeah. So
did you see the mural?
I must have. I see so many things. I must have seen it, and that's the only thing that makes sense how I put these two together. That's weird how that's happened. But anyways, yeah. So your story will probably come first, and then their story will be next. And she mentioned Akron Honey, then we'll transition right into the mural of that. Like, oh, wait a second, he talked about that. I love little things like that in show.
If I can give a little shout out, Malia and Michaela Clark are the twin sisters who helped spearhead some of the designs for that.
It was Malia's concept that was chosen. So Malia, Michaela Clark, Nicole Epps and Dre Evans were the other two on that team that helped paint with Mac.
Two of the people I've interviewed, I know what to do.
It's a small world, Akron. Everyone's 2 degrees of
So I
separation.
guess we kind of all know each other in Akron. It is weird. I mean, well, not weird. It's comforting, we'll say. It's comforting to live in a community where I feel pretty welcome in Akron. I feel there's a lot of people with like-minded interests that have similar goals in hand overall. So I feel this is a pretty unique spot here in Ohio compared to a lot of places that are outside of Ohio, we'll say, or outside of this part of Ohio. But yeah, there are art galleries in small towns. I'm not saying there are. My dad's an artist in Southern Ohio, but they're a bit different than the art galleries you have, and they're more conservative, I guess. Not conservative like politically speaking conservative, but it seems like the artwork gallery and the galleries in the country are a little bit
A little more traditional.
traditional. There's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
My dad's stuff is all like,
Landscape. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, there is. So you get to influence this community. What's the future? What do you plan to do with? I mean, of course you're going to run this gallery, but I mean, do you have any big plans that you want to continue with, or stage 2 of the murals, or?
I mean, so we, like Mac mentioned, it's our 10-year anniversary this year of Art by Love. We were very particular about how we grew our company. When I came on board full time, benefits are very expensive. Hiring is very expensive. I think I would love to see us continue to slow roll that growth and build our team up. We would love to be a team of 5 eventually. I think that's a nice sweet spot for our size of an agency, because we do have the gallery now, and we don't want to slow down on our work for Art by Love either. I think we are always going after new business opportunities for murals or other placemaking initiatives like that. But in terms of future planning, I think just helping people see that when you invest in art, and specifically visual art, specifically public art, the return that you get is just astronomical. What you can give back to the community, what you're giving back to a facility, employees. We could give you stats till the cows come home, but I would just love for people to continue to get on board with that kind of mantra.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very lucky, I think, to be able to facilitate this need and to create this platform for other artists and to support them in getting their work into public spaces with these modular murals and everything else. But something that I don't think we're talking about as much, which I would love to see us address, and part of that growth, and we know it well now, particularly with the public art inventory we just did for the city of Akron, is that an art piece is not a fixed permanent solution. Like a mural on a wall, it's not going to last forever. I think if we really want to live in a community that supports the arts, it needs to be opportunities for every generation of artists. It needs to be constantly evolving. There are so many gaps in our community where we could have more music, more dance, more murals, more child programs for kids. I would love to see and use our business to help this community thrive as an ecosystem that caters to all facets of the creative experience, where when you come to Akron, you are going to be elevated. Your senses are going to tingle because you know that you're in a place where your voice matters, where you can contribute and you can see others who are supported. We have pockets from this everywhere. We have vacant walls. We have vacant performance venues and outdoor parks and all of these things. I know the city wants to grow its population, and I'm sure with global warming and everything else going, like that population will increase. But I think it's very important that we get ahead of it and that we plan to maintain the things that we love and that matter: historic artifacts, walls, public art pieces, things that, like by Don Drum, that have been maybe sitting and neglected a little bit for the last 15 to 30 years, but are worth millions, and maybe even just priceless cultural artifacts for us. I would love to have a role in sustaining those creative things and then adding new voices and new generations and new perspectives on it. So hopefully that's what we can be part of in the next 10 years. And not just Akron. We don't want to do everything in Akron. There are plenty of others. We want to help communities all over the country do this. Sometimes that's just with having a better understanding of how art works and how you can make it work to support other industries and other communities.
Yeah, you're right. There are a tremendous amount of blank canvases here. I don't know, I'm Summit Art Space building, but I think that baby should be painted every 5 years or something. Just keep on redoing it, like the rocks on the campuses, you know?
Yeah.
It's every incoming, I don't know, class of new leaders come in and paint that damn thing to their, design of the community. Or maybe we have a public rock like that somewhere with vandalism. There's all kinds of issues you got to worry about if you have like a piece that people can continuously paint every weekend or something, But
there are ways you can protect some things, but I also think for a lot of the corporations and businesses that are here and that want to be around, if we want to attract talent, and I think we do, I think the city has a lot of ways to do that, supporting this cultural side where it's all of the things that when you leave the office and leave your 9 to 5 that are enhancing your life, giving you a great place to take your kids, memorable experiences, things that are speaking to what's going on in the world in the present moment where, you feel like you can make a difference. Akron's greatly set up for that.
Yeah, and Akron does a lot of great things. It's, the employers need to start looking at, in the 9 to 5, what's the 5 to 9? What's the afterwards? Because if you're not paying attention to that, you're not going to get talent to come here. That talent is looking at the schools district. It's looking at the park system. It's looking at the safety corridors. It's looking at the roads. It's looking at parking. Like, you can have a ping pong table in your office, but that's only good until 5 p.m. You got to look at the whole picture, especially for younger generations. They care a lot more about that, I think.
I'm going to throw this out there because it's like a wishful thinking thing, and maybe it's a stretch.
Oh, Lord.
You know me, I'm a dreamer. I love this stuff. Well, no, so back in the day, Goodyear built an entire neighborhood to help bring its workforce a little closer. It created parks and steps and all of these things to give people more access. Firestone did the same thing and built all of these model homes for people to move to. I think some of the stuff that we're talking about and thinking about is, a creative way of life and an ecosystem that provides the same kind of support, but isn't just for those workers. It's for our whole community. It's for our whole region,
Barberton.
Yeah.
That he created his own town, basically based off of his ideas. And it's so interesting. He was the first farm to table concept, like fresh lettuce in December.
Which is wild because people didn't used to eat lettuce.
No, it was huge.
You couldn't transport it.
So I agree with you. We need something here. I think there's a lot of great little things downtown to visit, and they're awesome. You could spend a whole evening here, a whole day here, just going to all these little spots. But it seems to me we need one big anchoring thing down here. I don't know what that is. Some crazy museum where you can cross on a tube to go around town or ride a slide from building to building. It's something that's interactive that kids would have fun with, adults can have fun with. What do you think we're missing around here?
We were Lock 3 during the Akron Marathon. It was a really special experience.
Oh, Lock 3 is amazing now. Jeez, isn't it great how much it transformed? People are always, I talk to somebody what are they going to make? Go check Lock 3 out if you don't think it's worth it. It is. The landscaping alone is incredible there. And it's made it through this hot winter or summer, made it through the winter time because they started landscaping then. So it's going to stay. It's not just here it is for the first month and it's going to die off like a lot of places. But go check it out.
I don't know if we're missing anything large. I've taken a couple trips with Torchbearers, which is a young professionals group in Akron that I've been a part of since 2019. And we fundraise to do trips to other Rust Belt cities. And the Chamber has done these trips. It happens a lot. To go see other cities and what they're doing well. Who can we meet with in the city that we're wow, and let's bring this idea back to Akron? We've gone to Cincinnati, Toledo, Grand Rapids, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and in every city, they're doing great things. We just went to Grand Rapids this year, and we have a client relationship there as well. There's some really cool stuff happening in Grand Rapids. But on the way back, we were why don't we treat Akron like this? What would be the 2 days? If you had to put together an agenda for 30 professional people to go walk around Akron, who would they meet with? Where would you take them? Where would you go eat? Who would you have come speak to them? And I think reframing that for us was just we already knew we had incredible things happening here. But when you think about it like that, you're taking 30 people from out of town, where would you take them? And you have to fill 2 full days. You get there like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the gaps. You're like, well, we're really missing this, or I don't really have a that to take them to. And I would ask people who are here, where would you take them? Plan a day. Don't leave your zip code. You know what I mean?
Like literally take a vacation.
Take a vacation.
Oh,
in
geez,
your
Jordan.
hometown.
We could spend a month going to places within 20 miles of just downtown Akron, County. Just put a circle, and you could be a rewarding trip
Yes,
too.
and it's not going to be like duds, and use your discretion. Make it great. Set your bar high. And where would you take people?
I will say, I'll add, I think the inner belt is going to be it. I would like to see some action taken and some things done. We do have a lot of vacant spaces, and those are complicated things to change. So I'm sure they're working on it, but I think you can get creative to bring change to spaces. I'll also say on that tourism side, one of the highlights of opening this gallery since we did it, we had a couple where one of the partners, it was her 40th birthday, and she didn't want to go on vacation, but she likes local art. And so her husband called and was like, can you guys stay open for like an extra 15 minutes one day so we can I can bring a bottle of champagne, just walk around and like look at the artwork. And so they had their own like just kind of private 30-minute thing in here with a bottle of champagne, learning about the artists, really spending time with the work. And they bought 11 pieces by 5 different artists, in that half hour. And I mean, it was so beautiful and fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like
taking those dollars that they would have spent going on a 3-day weekend and putting it right back into the community, and then going to dinner downtown with friends and going to a speaker series before that. Like they did it right.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know, maybe these things exist or they've been tried in several ways, but just like this platform that draws here. You type in Akron and you find this website that draws you to this is everything. I know the Downtown Akron Partnership has a lot of great stuff on there, but it seems like all this stuff is just, you have to search for it. You know what I mean? You have to dive in and be like, I need to go here, as opposed to a presence. Maybe someone starts just to the Akron, here's everything in Akron. That's all you do. And I kind of do this now. I should be doing it, but I'm 52 and I don't have a damn million people going around doing it. If you're 20 years old, 15, 16, start it now. Go to every place out there. You'll build a huge following. Show people that footprint. Like an interactive map. I made one of those years ago. Like a PDF, you could click on it, it would open up to the place, and then hey, we can go visit this. I don't have guide tours like this. Like you said, we're inviting people to come see our kick-ass city and everything we got in it. Double down, make a competition, something. I don't know. It seems like we're always falling back to these same old ideas. It's just Akron, but another brewery opened up. It doesn't excite me. I'm not a drinker, first off. I've been sober for 5 years now, so I'm not against alcohol, but I don't think stumbling drunks around town is going to help us all that much, overall. And that's especially when the breweries have cut down. A lot of them, died away, but we're just like brewer after brewer after brewer after brewery. There's so many other things we get involved. They can draw people to town. I mean, there's just I don't know. And I don't know if I want to be known for the AA city that has brewer after brewer after brewer after brewer after brewer. We have drunks and we have AA. What do you want to do? Hey, teach her about drinking. If you can drink in moderation, more power to you. Go have a drink in Akron and brew it. Go have a drink at these places. It's great. It's my martinis. It's fantastic. There's all kinds of wonderful places to drink. But I think that's what a lot of go-to is, and I don't.
Also, like there's a special important thing that Akron should do right there. I think we should have a mocktail menu on every single restaurant in every single place in the city.
Agreed.
It's part of our identity, and there should be no stigma against whether you choose to drink or not in our community. That's also really important.
Well, and here's the thing. Again, the young people are going to make the change. Anyone younger than a millennial is drinking way less than previous generations. And businesses have to change for that. And that's fine. Again, I love a glass of wine with dinner, but I can handle that. But it doesn't have to be my whole personality. I think the thing that you get, the beautiful thing about the breweries and the other things are the small businesses. The people who are going to come in and they're going to pour their heart and soul into something, and they're going to hire 10 people, and they can figure out how to be sustainable. We also have the ginormous corporations that we're trying to get people to come here, which again are great. But you have to have both. You have to have the small business that's going to have 2 to 10 employees, and the Goodyear, and the Suma, and those. you can't only focus. I feel like the focus is mostly on those ginormous. How can we get these billion-dollar polymer corporations to move to Akron? We want them. Do not get me wrong. We want to own that technology. But where are those people going on lunch breaks? Where are they going at 5 o'clock? We need to have a robust downtown with small businesses like ours that line the streets.
Agreed. And the other aspect too that someone pointed out to me, that a lot of people are working from home nowadays. You know, the business is not; they aren't coming to back to the businesses in town. So how many that were here pre-COVID are no longer down here?
Right.
And how
do
many?
you invest in those neighborhoods?
Right.
Because if I'm sitting in West Hill and I work from home every day, where can I get away when I have my hour break? Where do I want to walk my dog? And how do you invest in those corridors as well? It's both.
Yeah, our country was built on cars, and I think we're in a time of now where we realize like we also need to walk. We need more walkable kind of things.
That's a soapbox I have. Downtown is walkable.
Oh, very much.
From here, I can walk to Luigi's in 4 minutes, depending on if I catch the light at MLK or not. I can walk to Cilantro in 15. Walk downtown.
Mm-hmm.
The more people that are out and about, the safer it will feel, the more investment we will have. Just be present is all I can say.
Also, taking a walk in Akron, you see all the positives. If you're only driving through the city, you're going to be in a defensive mindset, and you will over-obsess and focus on a single pothole, you know, or maybe a piece of landscape that hasn't been mowed yet or something like that. But if you take a walk or you bike, you're going to notice the topography and those lines of sight and the way the light reflects off of things. You'll hear the wind chimes on someone's front porch. Like, there is so much positivity and beauty and love around in this community. But you do have to spend just a little bit of time here to see it. And then you're going to realize there's just an abundance of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think it's the case as much anymore, but I would also like to see, I think we proved with some of the projects we've done that you don't have to throw all of your investment into a very narrow corridor and a very narrow focus. I do sometimes feel like there's a disproportionate investment in just a couple small things, when a little investment could actually really make a big difference in a broader footprint. And so we do, as a for-profit, we have the ability to kind of make those investments ourselves. And so I'm very grateful for the communities that throw those investments in those areas. But I also think having the agility and being able to be nimble enough to go work with different communities that maybe have more trouble coming to you, going out there, for us, it makes a big difference in our work. It also makes a big difference in those communities. And, you know, you won't necessarily hear about it, but like we see it all the time when we drive through them, and we have these murals in like these small pocket community gardens, or when you hear the sounds around the public pools. Like, there were some little micro investments that went there that completely transformed perception and behavior in those areas. And when you ask people in Akron, like, what are their happiest memories in Akron? It's always the sound of people. Like, I've interviewed tens of thousands of people around all the neighborhoods around here. Almost every one of their happiest memories involves the sound of community, of children playing. They're almost always outside. And the building blocks for those experiences are all still here. We have a lot of organizations that do that. So go into your Metro Park system, going into your recreation parks, coming outside for food trucks and festivals. But the thing you mentioned too about like awareness and there being a single place, it's been a pain point for me since I first moved here. And
I was waiting for how long it would take for you to bring it up.
It is such a solvable problem, but we also have an area where we have, I think there's a little bit of territorialness. People want to own and be the sole arbiter of the cultural calendar and footprint. And the thing is that we need our local coffee shops, the live musicians who are performing there, the poetry nights and open mic nights. Those need to have a way to get into those platforms too. We can't just exclusively focus on the anchor institutions, because the culture and community and creativity that's going around in this other like kind of like substrata that don't have the time to post on Facebook every day or on Instagram, there are artists at all of those who are doing amazing work. If you come to Akron, you will find it. You just might not have known in advance that it was there going on. And I think there's a lot we can do to improve that, both digitally, but also with printed material and sharing that. I mean, come visit our studio. We'll give you some ideas on things to do and what's going on around.
Yeah, and just to recap, I don't want to be unfairly bad to the breweries in town. They all make great beer too. When I used to drink, it was great that each one had their own specific types of beer you could get.
Yeah.
So you're not just going to go somewhere and just give me, I don't know, a typical beer. You had beers that were sour. You had more alcohol content beers. So there was a little place for everything. And there were some really cool little breweries around. They're no longer there. That kind of got shoved under after COVID. The Aqueduct Brewery, if you've ever been over to that building when that was there, that was neat. We could walk down to like the bowels of this building.
Was it next to Thirsty Dog? Was that what it was?
No, it was over Marble Fledges. They were in that area.
Oh.
It was set in the back there. It was like a little, it was there for about 2-3 years. And I think it was like, they were a small place in the back and then the big breweries in the front. And
I think the big brewery was Thirsty Dog, though.
Yeah, yes.
On the subterranean
It was
tunnel.
yeah. Did you go down there?
Yeah.
You had to walk down a rickety staircase. It was probably not the safest, but I don't think anybody found
It was
hurt.
an experience.
It most certainly was. There was like a cistern down there. There was a well. You can see the water where the original Wolf Creek. There was a creek at one time that ran through there. It still runs, but it's underground now. So how long have you been in this building now?
We've been in this space. We had a ribbon cutting here in May, but we've been in this building for 2 years.
For 2 years. Okay, so I like to ask everybody, anything interesting in this building? You ever feel weird in this building? You ever feel strange in this building? You ever hear any voices in this building with these old buildings?
I'll tell you, there's a magical light that falls between the parking deck and this building. If you go out at the right peak of day, there's a little sliver between the concrete of these buildings.
And the parking deck, that's the art museum, the library parking deck is the back of our building. So you can get there from Maiden Lane.
Yeah, well, that's when if you were out there and that sliver of light, it's like a cosmic event. It's amazing. But I will say, from what I understand, there's still a good amount of lamp black deep in the basement of this building. You know, that's like all of Akron. There's lamp black just like penetrated deep in the seams from the rubber era.
Yeah, I think it was our internet provider that came and installed, and he was just like, "Don't go down there." So
It's just you'll leave your fingerprints on everything first.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it with a tannery. I can almost smell it. I can smell the leather, and then I can smell like, oh god, it was probably just like open tanning, like literally in the back, and then saw the leather up front. And it was probably just rolls of leather. It probably wasn't like what we think of as like a leather store.
But no.
I'm sure Akron was full of all kinds of unique smells at that time period.
Yeah. I will say, like one of my favorite reactions that people have when they come into this space is like unexpected shock at like how big it is, but also it's sounds straight, but they're like, this is nice, and I'm kind of like, what were you expecting?
Should we take offense to that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very proud of that.
Yes,
it is nice. The artwork is really nice. Like Akron does and can have nice things. I love the historic ways that we can upcycle a lot of things. We have a lot of great buildings, but also like it's been really fun to just be a place in this corridor, this strip of Akron, the block that we're on between the library and the Blue Teak Hotel, hadn't really had like businesses in it for a while. Between like 2015 and now, there was a barbershop next door briefly.
The tea lady was here for a while.
So
there was a tailor, but a lot of it was empty.
And considering this is like the heart of Akron, Main and Market, I mean, all these connections right here. This is where there's so many photographs of horse and buggies in this area.
And our two downtown hotels are both right here, directly north of us. So we have all these family members and people who are here for weddings and other things. And this is one of the first things that they see and walk by and come into. And it's a nice introduction to the city to see, 25 or 30 different artists, voices or their photography.
And I will say that I think we said Northeast Ohio. These artists are not just Akron. These are Cleveland, Canton, Rittman, Orville, Greene, Uniontown, like Broadview Heights, like Pepper Pike. We've got artists from all over Northeast Ohio here. So I just want to make sure that it is not just Akron.
Yeah, you just apply and we add you to the wait list and we'll rotate you in when the next opportunity comes up.
And what's your website?
artxlove.com.
Perfect. Let's see here. We covered a lot of information today. We covered about, we talked about people feeling safe. We have a weird environment now in our country where it's just like us against them. This is bad. This is good. It's very black and white. There's no gray issues. Big city bad. Criminals, go away, stay away. there's crime everywhere. I mean, all across the world, there's crime for that matter. There's crime all over the country. Crime doesn't happen just in certain areas. Crime happens where there's a concentration of people. We have a concentration of people here. And I've been to a lot of places in Akron, and I feel very safe downtown. You know, no matter where you go, if it's late at night, your mind's got to take over. You're got to be scared because you start thinking, you know, all these horror films you saw, and people stalking you. And so late night anywhere is scary. I mean, my humblest of humble opinions, but if you come here in the daytime and early evening, that's very safe. Parking's not bad. This isn't a bad community. Are there people? There are people everywhere. I mean, I don't know why we're so scared of each other. We're humans. Got to see other humans. Talk to other humans. Start a conversation with people that you think are scary and different. You know what? They're just like you probably. I don't know. This world where people are scared to come to downtown Akron. And I see it all the time in comments, you know, and then in the news about Akron, some of that. Oh, I gotta go to Akron.
I think it's important to remember. I mean, I know this will probably be watched on the internet and everything, but like the internet is not reality. It's not the real world. You know, as I was telling
especially
you,
the social media end of it.
you
You
know,
know, you can
a lot
make
of those
a video
people
that represents things like what I'm doing here, and I'm showing you what I mean. I'm taking a curated cut. When the podcast is different, but when you're seeing a curated cut. But that being said, the social media end I mean, honestly, I want to quit it. I don't want to do social media ever again. If I could leave it and not have to run my pages or anything, I would. I don't like it.
We would have done it 5 years ago if we could.
I really can't stand that what it's done to our country. And it's a lot of it's not us. That's what gets me. I don't think it's this dead internet. It's this bot aspect. I think it's just other people knowing that we're going to argue. And we're just, how far can we push? How far can we push them? And we have more in common.
so, you know, when we did the Rubber Worker Stories project, you know, we interviewed over 100 rubber workers and their descendants. We made these mini documentaries, we put them out there. And, you know, a lot of them are about like great anecdotal memories of what Akron used to be like. And there would always be these comments from people who'd be like, oh yeah, like, you know, it's a trash heap. It's unsafe. There are guns everywhere. Like, you know, and heavily politically influenced and stuff by some of it. And I'd go and I'd just take a look at like who these people are. And sometimes I would actually even like talk to them, or they would call and I'd find out, I was like, so this is a person who doesn't even live in Ohio and hasn't lived here for 15 to 30 years.
Or they do live in Ohio and they haven't been downtown since the 80s.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So
they don't know what they're talking about. And so it's really, really important for people to be able to determine for themselves, like, sorry, I just totally touched my mic. It's like really important for people to be able to determine for themselves who is a trustworthy voice and to get a second or third opinion, you know, and not take the convenient
Or to get a first opinion and see it for yourself.
Yeah. Find out for yourself.
And if your opinion is from like, well, I first came to Akron in 1991 to go to college. That was my first year here, right? And I went to the University of Akron. I was in Balger Hall, that big hall that you can still see up there, and I hated living in there. But I came to downtown Akron, right? And I go to the square, the Quaker Square, and that was like vibrant at the time, right? And I was like, wasn't downtown, but that's like farther venturing out. Then I went to downtown, and downtown was scary then. I mean, there was like, down where the baseball stadium is, there was like a bunch of adult video stores down there and seedy little bars, and it was pretty scary. And if that's your memory of Akron, well, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the construction. It's not all potholes. Downtown is nice. Did it take an attorney to get done? Yes. Did it ruin a lot of businesses? Didn't help too much, but now it's back, and you should come check it out. You'll be surprised that things have changed. There's a roundabout now in downtown Akron. That's something that's new with the rubber worker there. A lot of people don't like roundabouts. It kind of blows my mind too. I don't know. Roundabouts are nice. Learn to use them. They're very fun. They're very good. They're actually a good thing. Break your concept. We have biking lanes in downtown Akron now. We have more ample parking in downtown Akron now. Venture out of your hole. Venture out of your hole. And I mean that in the nicest way. We all get stuck in our little worlds, right? And we don't want to leave.
We're humans. That's how our brains function.
And if you go into a place and you already have in your mind, this is bad, of course it's going to be bad for you. Give Akron a try. Come here first. Go downtown to eat some great food.
Have lunch.
Amazing restaurants. Great down the road here. For whatever food you like, from comfort type of food with the tater tots to a deli sandwich down there to a nice steak right around the corner. I don't know when they're actually open, but I mean, there's places all around where you can get top food that you're not going to find anywhere else in the country. I don't know. Give Akron a try.
Agreed.
on a longer term lens, I'm not so worried about all the haters that are out there. I mean, it's survival of the fittest. Like, those perspectives don't fit with what Akron is. They're just going to die. Like, people who are here now, who are having these experiences, that's what'll prevail. Because
light will win.
It's the truth. Like, so.
And you're missing out if you don't want to come down and visit. You know, if you want to not realize, I mean, just come down to a launch event. If there's nothing else, wait. I mean, I know they're probably wrapping up now, but wait till there's a band you like down there, or a cover band, or an event. You know, the pizza festival we have now. We have the
Pickle
Fest.
Italian Fest.
It's pick one.
American Festival.
Take a public art walking tour.
Yeah.
There's so many great things. And I go to all different events, you know, across the board, and I felt safe in every event that I went to downtown, no matter what. I don't see fights. I don't see people working out. I hear gunshots going on, you know, and I know that we're coming out of post-COVID, and a lot of people are still, I know it's been a long time, but people are still sucking. They don't want to go into scary places. We have a weird time too. People get shot all the time and stuff too, but active safe, way safer than a lot of places to go. And
they're working hard at it. They're working really hard at it. The people that can make that change are working very hard to make it as safe a place as it can be.
Yeah, so I champion Akron. I can't say enough great things about it. But yeah, you know, crime's gonna happen. It's gonna happen everywhere. You know, I've been personally affected by it. I've seen it, but you know, no matter where you're gonna be, you're gonna find good in life. There's way more goodness than there is bad out there. That's for damn sure. Okay, so you're open, you say Tuesday through Saturday, correct? Okay. Do you have opening nights for people? Do people have like opening receptions for their gallery nights and whatnot?
Yeah, we're always open on Art Walk Night. That's a quarterly event that happens. It's like the first, I don't remember. It's a thing.
I'll try to find it and put it listing below.
Yeah, but we do like once a season. We'll do an open house. We had one in the summer. We'll have one coming up for the fall. We'll do something around Artist Sunday, Small Business Saturday, Artist Sunday. We always do something. And then you can always just subscribe to our newsletter or follow us on socials and see what's happening.
Yeah, Friday night in downtown Akron is a great night to come visit. We're open late, so we'll be open from 12 to 7 on Fridays, and we're open on Saturdays from 12 to 5. So if you're going out for brunch, you want to make art a stop along your way, this is a great little stepping stone towards everything else that this area has to offer.
Oh, yeah, it's great family activity down here, great date activity, great just solo activity, friend activity, whatever. There's a lot of great things to do here. Anything you want to add that I might not have brought up with either of you so far?
Good.
I don't think so.
I think we've covered a pretty good amount of it. I mean, I will say Forever Changes does live up to its name. Like,
yeah, it does change a lot.
Yeah, we rotate the artwork constantly. We try to operate by that. So it's never really the same thing twice in here. So you know, sometimes the work that you're coming back to look at to show off to a friend has sold and is now in someone's home. You know, like, so it helps to come by fairly frequently if there's something you want to see.
So come and come again and come again and come
yes.
again. And if you see something, I snatch it up before somebody else does.
We will also always put you in touch with the artist too. Like if something sells, if the piece that you really wanted sells, I will put you in touch with that artist and you can talk about something else. You don't ever want to gatekeep from that either.
No.
And think about how interesting that'll make you when you know all about this great artist in Akron. You can show off your piece to all your friends when you're having family and friends. Everybody like, I got this from so-and-so and they do this and you can buy one too. Mm-hmm. I don't know, follow my lead and do that. Put whatever you want to tell people about it. You can go buy it. So
I'll tell you, you mentioned before, like traditional artists, and yeah, I'm not originally from here. I don't find like anyone in Akron to be like a traditional artist. I don't know if there is such a thing, but there are so many people who grew up with a DIY culture from their family members who worked here, who have this kind of problem solving like gene or thing where they might work in an industry or job for 30 years and then retire. And then like the artist who did the wire constructions over here, he's only been making them for 2 years. And it's this beautiful artwork that's also a mix of like sculpture and poetry and painting. I think Akron art is pretty unique within like our kind of national landscape of art. So I think there's uniqueness in every community.
What's that rubber belt thing? And we are part of the Rust Belt aspect, not the rubber, the Rust Belt. We grew up, a lot of people, my father was one of them, had his whole life, worked in the mill, had his career, never touched art, never talked about art, never did art. As soon as I went to college, he became an artist, you know, and did all this art, and he's well known and sold pieces for thousands of dollars. And it was just, why didn't you talk about this when I was a kid? Well, you couldn't get a job doing it. And I would,
Yeah.
you know, and that would, so we still have that mentality. So you see these older people come out, they get art, or they've been tinkering with it in their basement or whatnot, and they become artists. If you have it in you, you gotta let it out, you know, and you don't necessarily need any real training. You can paint with whatever you have. If you'll paint with whatever, mud, you know, grind up leaves. I mean, you can make art out of anything. So
Right. You still need to be good at what you do in terms of like communication and, you know, being a respectful person, stuff like that. But yeah, just like any business or any trade, you work at it, and it's something you do. If you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work.
and that's probably the biggest part. I would say the biggest flaw with artists is communication. I mean, some are very communicative. I'm a communicative person. I talk to people. I'm good with people, but a lot of artists aren't good with people. You know, they're not really people.
Or they weren't taught to be.
Or they weren't
Or
talking.
they weren't in, I have a communications degree. I am an extroverted extrovert. I will talk to this sculpture if you want me to. But I also went through rigorous study to show me how to be a good communicator. The jobs that I've had have taught me how to be a good communicator. I think we give artists a bad rap when, and trust me, I email with many of them. But if we can be there to help them, hey, I really need you to follow up on this contract. We can't move forward until you do this. Hold their hand a little bit and show them what they do need to do so that they can be successful, then that's a win for me.
Yeah, sometimes it's not necessarily that the artist is a bad communicator. It's us having some kind of cultural perception that there is a right way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be a more flexible listener, you know?
Or to guide them like, hey, I love what we're talking about. We can't have this conversation on Instagram. Here's my email. Let's take it that next more professional step. And then if they email you, super duper, we can go from there. If they don't, it may not be meant to be. But yeah, some artists are not great communicators. But if we can help them get there, they can book that next job without us. They know that questions to ask for the next client. That's not us. I don't know.
And you're building confidence too. And a lot of it's the confidence. It took me a long time to realize that what I do is what I do, and and it helps me too. For my communication aspects, I'm way better in this situation than it comes to just like take the cameras away and put a bunch of people in this room, and I have to go make small talk with people. I'm lost. You know, I just can't. I can, but it's painful.
Yeah.
Literally very painful
Draining.
to do that. And if I did that all night, I'd have to sleep for the next day. It takes every ounce of energy I have for me. This takes a lot of energy too, but it's just more comfortable. I feel this is what I do. And I feel if I could do this every day, and I keep on telling my podcast funder out there that says, let's fund this blue green guy to do this every day. I would do this every day. And I would talk to people literally every day. Every day, it's what I do. And it's what I think we need more people telling stories. Even though there are a million podcasts out there, we need more stories. Tell stories of your kids. Put your artwork out there. Come to downtown Akron. Come visit this place. So thank you for making time for me today. Thank you for making time for me today. Thank you for making time to watch this episode. If you made it all this way, I love you for watching. Thank you for watching. And I hope I get more of those people that watch all the way to the end of the video. But if you have watched this far, like, subscribe, go check out Around Akron Blue Green on PBS. And thank you for watching this episode of Blue Green's World.